Okay, side effects. Easy, short answer. Perfect this week, but we expect this, as I've talked before, one of the chemo drugs, that Revlimid, is off for this week, and I feel fantastic compared to the previous week, so night and day. So I move forward on to the blood work. Now again, the blood work, remember from last time, we had the issue with the kidneys, so organ function, liver's okay, kidneys, not so much. So the kidneys are still giving us some trouble. The value that was a problem with when you calculate out the clearance, it come down back toward the norm, but it's still not where the team wanted it. So I was kind of hoping it would come down because we kind of made a decision. It came down and is more in the normal range, and the oncologist is on board with this. The thing is, you tolerate the maximum dose of chemo you can take. Hit the cancer with everything you got. Deal with the side effects. And I agree, the accelerator goes down and you keep the accelerator on. And that's the way it is. So we're both on that same page. So he was hoping it would come down and he was going to change the request back to the 25 milligram. However, because of the kidneys, he didn't feel comfortable with that. So this cycle 6 started on Friday, will be dosed with that lower dose talked about last time of 15 milligrams versus the 25 going forward. That's the way it's going to be. Okay, another result that stands out is, remember I had 2 transfusions of blood last week and my hemoglobin was down to 6.3. It's skyrocketed. It's back up to 8.7, which is fantastic. I think that's the highest number I've ever had going back to September. So pretty incredible. I'm excited about that. It's great. Felt really good after, you get 2 pints of blood and get some hemoglobin from last week, and that stayed now, obviously, this week. Not quite as tired either. It's just fantastic. Okay, dosing. Dosing went fine, but there's a comment I have to make. Velcade subQ injection was done, the dexamethasone, the 10 tablets was taken, and the Revlimid was supposed to be taken, but we had an issue with the supplier and with insurance. I don't know if it has to do with the first of the year issue. The poor RN for my oncologist was on the phone since all the way from last Friday trying to set up this delivery. I was on the phone. Between the two of us, I don't know how many different calls we made to the insurance, to the supplier. You can't get this medication anywhere else. It's set by the pharmaceutical company that manufactures it, and they have their set specialty pharmacies to deliver it, and that's the end of the story. So if there's a problem setting up your deliveries, you're kind of a little SOL on that. So look, it's the earliest I'm going to get that Revlimid, that drug that I need, perhaps might be Tuesday. That means I miss a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday dose. Not excited about that, but that's life, and you deal with those situations. The rest I'll handle privately. But just to let you guys know, there's an asterisk on the dosing from yesterday because of this issue with the Revlimid. Yes, it's going to come back on. Most likely it will just continue. I'll have a longer off week, obviously, built in, which means I'll have a much shorter ending week after the 2 weeks of dosing with the 15 milligram capsules daily. So that's where we're at. Just let me mention one thing. I did talk with the oncologist Thursday, and he reiterated what he said before. Things are going well. The proteins are coming down, but again, slowly. And he, again, emphasized the same thing. It's coming down slowly because I had such a high starting value, a value of total serum proteins he hadn't seen before in his 40 years in oncology. So that's going to take some time. More important as well is, as he was making notes with his assistant there, getting things set up for the transfer to Henry Ford Hospital. In fact, I have an appointment on Tuesday with the same doctor I saw nearly 3 months ago at Henry Ford. It's very critical, this meeting. Assays are going to now be run, which are going to specifically target the protein monoclonal antibodies and give a direct assessment of how the chemo is working on the cancer. This is the nuts and bolts of everything. So at the very least, it's going to shed some light on how many cycles might further be needed and just where we're at. So I'm a little bit trepidatious, but that's the way things are. We worked our way through managing the side effects and dealing with all this chemo, and now we're at that point where there's runners in a relay, where the St. Mary's, who was handling the chemo, has got the baton, and they're preparing, and the other group has got the handout, getting ready for the transition. I think that's how I see it. That's where we're at. When that's going to occur, I think sooner rather than later now, based on what's being said. But I don't want to jump the gun until we have some results, and that's going to be shared with you guys. You guys are in when this happens. So Tuesday, I know it takes quite a while for these results, so hopefully I have them by the next update. So just stay tuned on that. That keeps them in our good time frame. Stay tuned for next week. Things are going to be interesting, I think, and hopefully keep fingers crossed. A good interesting, not a bad interesting. Cheers.